Together with Earle Sports Bets, yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. Just me today. Tim will be back tomorrow. And we have, I believe, 7 games in the NBA, 4 in the NHL, so not a big card to go over, which is totally fine. Don't mind these smaller cards, especially with Saturday cards being absolutely ridiculous during college basketball season. But we'll quickly recap yesterday, and then we will get into today's card. College basketball was okay yesterday. Detroit Mercy +8. They win outright against Northern Kentucky. James Madison -13. They lose. They win by 9. They did not cover. Campbell +2.5. They run William & Mary out of the building. A 41-point win there for those fighting Camels. Robert Morris, a 53-point win over IUPUI, 106-53, easily cashes the -8.5. Western Kentucky -2.5. They get the win over UTEP, 78-74. A 12-point win for Montana State as they cover the 11.5 against the Sacramento State. And then we lose the final 2 of the night. Cal State, Bakersfield -4. They lose by 9. And then Santa Barbara money line, they lose by 7. So not a good end to the night for that. Hockey was split out for me. I got the over 5.5 with Winnipeg and Boston. Lost the over 5.5. My 2 overs that I lost yesterday were 3-0 shutout wins for teams. The Lightning and the Kings over 5.5. The Kings get blanked in that game. So that was fun there. Chicago +2.5. They lose by 1. So they cover not only the +2.5, but they would have covered the +1.5 as well for those who took it. And then New York and Philadelphia over 5.5. The Islanders do their job. They put up 3 goals, but they blank the Flyers in Philly. A 3-0 win for Ilya Sorokin and the New York Islanders there. And then my one and only play in the NBA was a dominant 137-115 win for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And they cashed the -9.5. So overall, a positive day yesterday, up 2.1 units. So hope to continue that to today. Have had a nice last couple days. Really, it's been nice. The last week have been up 5.5 units. So starting to go in the right direction here, and hopefully we'll continue into today. I've already moved on one play. Did a free pick video for last night. It's moved 15 cents. So it's always nice to see as well. What's good, Nathan Cerna? What's good, Markel? What's going on? We'll get it started in the National Blowout Association, also known as the NBA, where we have the LA Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. The Clippers are 13-point road favorites with a total of 211. Let's take a look at the line history in this game, where it opened up at a 10. It's now a 13, so a 3-point line movement towards these Clips. And then for the total, line opened up at a 216. It's plummeted all the way down to a 210.5. The Clippers have dominated this Hornets team. They've won 10 in a row against Charlotte. Charlotte has covered in 3 of the last 4, though. But the Clippers are coming in off of a 12-point win. They've won 3 of their last 4 games against Milwaukee, Washington, and San Antonio. Their only loss was that 2-point loss in Phoenix. On the flip side, the Hornets, they're off of back-to-back losses after beating the Pelicans. They lost to the Lakers, and they lost to the Brooklyn Nets by 21 points. Yikes. This is a Hornets team that is 12-32 straight up this year, 22-20-2. ATS 16-17 1 over under, 8-16 at Spectrum Center there in Charlotte, North Carolina. On the flip side, the Clippers are 27-20. They currently sit 6th in the Western Conference, 29-17 1 ATS, 18-29 over under, 10-12 on the road. I'm not getting involved with this game. It's pretty plain. Oh, my bad. I forgot to get up the cash flow in this game as well. Even though, yeah, I'm not getting involved with this game. Pretty simple. These lines have moved way too much. I mean, the under was interesting back when it was 216.5, but not at a 211. 90% of tickets, 84% cash on the over. And then 70% of tickets, 77% of cash is on the Clippers, and the line is moving towards them. So overall, just not a game I saw any value in whatsoever. I feel like the value has kind of been extracted from this game. So no play here for me. It would be, yeah, I mean, at this point, there's the sides I would look at would be Clippers in the under, but not getting involved. Yeah, easy pass to start the card. Yep, 100% agree. Let's move on. The Dallas Mavericks and the Detroit Pistons. We have the Mavericks 1-point favorites, total of 230 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history. Opened up -1 for Detroit. It's now -1 for Dallas. Line opened up 232. It's now 230. So a move towards the under here as well. I want to take a look real quick on the money line for this one, where we do have this line opened up -113 for Dallas. And it's now -114 on the money line. So the money line, I think, opened up just later than the spread. That's why the line had moved more for the spread than it has the money line. So there is that. But let's take a look at the cash flow, see if it checks out, where we have 70% of tickets, 72% of cash is on the Mavericks. Spread 41-57 on the money line. Yet this line's moved to the Pistons. No, it's moved. Did it move to? No, it's moved towards the Dallas Mavericks. Yep. And then 89% of tickets, 90% of cash is on the over here as well. So yet another public over. Not surprised there whatsoever. We see that all the time. Public generally likes overs. We have the Dallas Mavericks. They're coming in off of back-to-back wins. They squeaked out a 1-point win against New Orleans. They took care of business against Washington. Everybody's taking care of business against Washington. On the flip side, we have the Detroit Pistons, who have kind of lost their shine a little bit the last 3 games. They've lost 3 in a row. Have covered none of them. I have really no interest in this one here. It'd be Dallas or nothing, I think, in this spot if I'm looking to back anything in this game. And actually, the more and more I look at it, the more and more I'm interested in the Mavericks in this game. Let's just take a look at what the number is for it. Just to take a look to see if I can get a halfway reasonable price. -110 over on ESPN Bet. I'm going to pull the trigger on the Mavericks here in this spot. That's where I'm going to get my day started. Dallas Mavericks -110 in this game. I think the market's kind of pointing in that direction as well. And I'll take a shot here to open up my card. Dallas Mavericks -110 on the money line here in this game against the Detroit Pistons. Let's see. Morning, Nick. How you feel about Butler plus 3.5 today? Let's take a look at my spreadsheet, where we've got no plays of value today. You said Butler. There's no 3.5. At 3.5, it's Butler or nothing. That's one thing I will say. We have this game at a 1, so it'd be Butler or nothing. And St. Peter's money line. I think that line's correct. They flipped to Fave's Pistons. I'm seeing it's -1 Dallas. So I guess it depends on where you look. Dallas Mavericks -1. Yeah, I'm on the same page there. I took just the money line there at -110. Let's continue on. The Denver Nuggets and the Philadelphia 76ers. We have the Nuggets -9.5, total 233.5. Line opened up at an 8. It's now a 9.5. Line opened up at 231.5. It's now 233.5. So we have a move towards the over, and we have a move towards the Nuggets, expecting the Nuggets to win probably a higher scoring game in this one. Let's take a look at the cash flow. In this one, 56% of tickets, 60% of cash on the Nuggets. Lines moving towards them. 84% of tickets, 87% of cash is on the over. And lines moving towards the over, at least for those who want to back the over. The Nuggets have now lost 3 games in a row. They're currently 28-19, 23-23 and 1 ATS, 29-17 and 1 over-under, 14-11 on the road. They're 4th in the Western Conference. On the flip side, we have the Philadelphia 76ers entering 11th in the Eastern Conference with a 19-27 record. They're 18-28 ATS. They're 25-20 and 1 over-under. They're 9-13 at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia there. And for me, I don't trust Philly, and these two teams just played each other, and the Nuggets did win by 35, but Philadelphia is not a good basketball team. And I could see the Nuggets doing something very similar in this game where they put up a bunch of points against these Philadelphia 76ers. And I'm kind of interested in not laying the points of the Denver Nuggets, but maybe a team total over. And I can get team total over 121.5, minus 115 over on DraftKings and over on Bet365. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the team total over here for the Denver Nuggets, 121.5, minus 115. Denver, I expect them to step up after losing 3 games in a row now. And on the flip side, I don't trust the Nuggets to cover that type of number. The Philadelphia 76ers have won 4 straight and covered in all 4 of them. Cleveland, Chicago, LA, and the Kings were the matchups for those there. So strength of competition, not the greatest there, other than the Cleveland Cavaliers. So there is that. But for me, I took the team total over. It's 121.5 minus 115 over on Bet365 for the Denver Nuggets here. Favorite college basketball play today? None of them graded out for an official play, but the one with the highest amount of value is Purdue, minus 11.5. Michael Porter Jr. points props to go. All right. These NBA games are ass. I can see that. What's up, Nick? Can't wait to hear your thoughts on Celtics Pelicans revenge game later. Appreciate your insight, dude. Yeah, that'll be in a couple games. We have Chicago, Toronto, Milwaukee, San Antonio, then Boston, New Orleans. So Sixers money line, beautiful number. Wow. All right. Friends don't talk friends off of dogs. As long as the Nuggets put up 122 points, I don't care what else happens. So Denver Nuggets team total over 121.5 minus 115. Quickly just putting this up on Cappertek. There we go. All right. We'll move on to the next matchup here. The Chicago Bulls and the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors 4-point favorites in this game. Total of 232.5. Taking a look at the line history in this one, opened up at 3.5, went up to a 4.5, came back down to a 3.5. Now we're seeing 4s. Line opened up 231.5. It's now 232.5. So a 1-point line movement towards the over here as well. We have 67% of the tickets and 64% of cash on the Raptors. The lines moved slightly towards the Raptors since the opening line. 85% of the tickets, 86% of the cash on the over in this one as well. We have the Chicago Bulls. They enter this game 10th in the Eastern Conference, 20 and 28. Currently, I believe, in a play-on spot. Yep. And then on the they're 22, 25 and 1 ATS, 22 and 26 over under, 11 and 12 away from the United Center there in Chicago, Illinois. On the flip side, we have the Toronto Raptors, who enter this game 12th in the Eastern Conference. They're 15 and 32 straight up, 28, 18 and 1 ATS, 22, 24 and 1 over under. They're 11 and 13 at Scotiabank Arena. They're in Toronto, Ontario. We have the Chicago Bulls coming in off of a 22-point loss against the Boston Celtics, 122-100. Kind of saw that coming from a mile away because that was the game that the Bulls were coming in off of that win against the Nuggets. The Celtics were coming off the win or the loss in their previous game before that. On the flip side, the Toronto Raptors, they're playing some good basketball as of late. 5 straight wins and 5 straight covers for the Toronto Raptors. And yeah, I would lean Toronto in this game if I'm getting involved with it. I just don't see the value in laying points with Toronto at the moment, even though they did win and cover in their last game as a favorite. Granted, that was against Washington, which everybody's covering against Washington. So for me, I would only look towards the Raps in this game. But do I feel the need to get involved with it? No. The answer is a simple no here for me. It would be Raptors or nothing, but I see better value on other games. So we'll move on. San Antonio Spurs and the Milwaukee Bucks, 2.5-point favorites are the Bucks, total of 233.5. Line opened up at a 3.5. It's down to a 2.5. So we do have a 1-point line movement here towards the Spurs. On the flip side, we have this for the total. We have this game opened up at a 229, and it's skyrocketed up to a 234.5. So we even move towards the over here as well. Line opened up at 80% of tickets, 71% of cash coming in on the Bucks. The line's moving towards the Spurs. This is looking more and more like Spurs, and more Spurs here just by the market move. And then we have 89% tickets and 88% of cash is on the over here as well. This line has skyrocketed towards the over. The Bucks are coming in off of that double-digit loss against the Portland Trailblazers. The San Antonio Spurs are coming off of back-to-back double-digit losses in Paris against the Pacers and against the LA Clippers as well. I think everything kind of correlates here for me to make a move on the San Antonio Spurs. If I can find a 3, I'll be thrilled. I'll take a 2.5 though, which I can get a 3 over on Fanatics. You can also get it over on Bet365. I'm going to go over to Fanatics and grab that there. +3 -110 for the Spurs. I just think that everything kind of correlates in this game for me to take a shot with San Antonio getting the points in this game. I would lean to them outright winning as well. But for me, I'm just going to take the +3 in this game for San Antonio. So yeah, that's where we're going in this game. The Spurs +3 -110 over on Fanatics. Yeah, Raps should win. They've been playing great. They have been playing great. It's just a big number, I think, for it. So, but we will get into the next matchup here. We have 2 games left in the NBA. We have the Boston Celtics taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. The Celtics are 11-point favorites with a total of 232.5. Taking a look at the line history in this one, it opened up at a 10. It's down 11 for Boston. So we do have a 1-point line movement towards the Celtics here in this one. Line opened up 232. It's now 232.5. So a half-point line movement towards the over here as well. Taking a look at the cash flow, where we have 63% of the tickets and 53% of the cash on the Celtics here. And the lines move slightly towards them. 88% of tickets, 90% of cash on the over. And the lines move slightly towards the over here as well. The last time these two teams played, the Boston Celtics were 14.5-point favorites, and they got out of town with a 1-point win at home against the New Orleans Pelicans. Previous that they had won and covered. That was in March of 2024. Boston coming in off of a 122-100 win over the Chicago Bulls, which was a nice bounce back after losing to the Houston Rockets. Whenever the Boston Celtics lose, I most likely will double up on them on the next game. On the flip side, we have the New Orleans Pelicans, who are now on a 4-game losing streak, losing to Memphis, Charlotte, Toronto, and Dallas. So not the greatest competition, other than you can make an argument Memphis is pretty good competition, but still a little bit of a rough patch here for the Pelicans. I have no interest in this game. I don't want to lay 11 on the road. If Boston lost their last game, I would be more interested in laying the number here with the Celtics. But off of a off of a little bit more of a satisfying win, not a satisfying win for Boston, but like off of a pretty dominant win, is not particularly where I want to back them. And the Celtics off of a win this year, ATS-wise, have been terrible. So I kind of want to take a look, see if they have that real quick. I want to take a look because team rankings NBA, because they have trends. I want to see what the Celtics this season is. Not betting odds, team trends. I want to see what the Celtics record is after a win this year. So let's see. Let's see. After a win, ATS. Because I know they're pretty bad ATS-wise in general, but after a win. Let's see. Situationals after a win. I think they're one of, if not the worst in basketball. Let's take a look. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Yep. Wow. I knew they were bad. I didn't know they were that bad. 6-25-1 ATS, the Boston Celtics are after a win this year. They do not string multiple covers together in a row. That's crazy. So, yeah. No, I have no interest in laying this number with the Boston Celtics. With how they are after wins. Now, if this was after a loss, I think that's a totally different story. Now I'm curious, ATS-wise, after a loss, because I think this is a better indication of the Boston Celtics. They are, yes, okay. It's pretty simple. You back Boston after a win, you fade them after a loss. They're 12-3 ATS after a loss this year, and they're covering by 9.2 points. So there's that. So whenever Boston loses, back them the next game. Whenever Boston wins, either fade them or stay off. And I think this would be closer towards a fade them spot with the 10, 10.5, 11 with the New Orleans Pelicans in this game, because this Boston team just doesn't cover multiple games, doesn't cover after wins. So yeah, there we go. So lean towards it there. Will we see a card later today, bro? Yeah, has Tim not been posting them? Give me Parleys outright. Wow. Thanks, Nick. Seriously leaning towards the Pelicans money line / upset. Yeah, that would be the only way I would look in that game. The only way I would look in that game. Final matchup of the day, and then a final NBA game of the day, and then we will get into the NHL. We have the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors. The Suns 1-point road favorites, total of 228.5. We're seeing 1.5 now. This line opened up. Golden State -2 is now Phoenix -1.5. Line opened up 225. It's now 228. So we have a move towards the over here as well as a move towards these Phoenix Suns. 53% of the tickets, 61% of the cash is on the Phoenix Suns. The line's moving towards them. 44% of tickets, 50% of cash on the money line. For the total, 86% of tickets, 88% of cash is on the over in this game as well. The line has moved towards the over. The Phoenix Suns enter 9th in the Western Conference. They're 24-22 on the year, 16-29-1 ATS, 21-23-2 over under, 9-13 on the road. On the flip side, Golden State 24-23 straight up, 23-23-1 ATS, 22-25 over under, 14-12 at home. And the more and more I look at this game, I want to move on Phoenix in this one. And I think this is a good spot I think this is a good market for the Phoenix Suns. Line's moving towards them. They've gone from dog to favorite, sharp money on them. Yeah, I'm taking the Phoenix Suns in this game as the last play on the card. And I'm gonna add the Pelicans as well. I am gonna add the Pelicans plus the points. Let me figure out what the exact number for Parleys will be here. 11.5 -115 on ESPN bet. Sign me up for that as well. Pelicans plus 11.5 -115 ESPN bet, and then Phoenix Suns money line -115 as well to close out the card. So a couple plays on the last couple games here. So overall, yeah, I have 5 plays on this card on a 7-game NBA card. So a little bit higher volume than I'm used to here in the association, but hey, it is what it is. Basically, when you got no college and limited NHL, we'll make a little bit more moves on the on the hardwood there in the NBA. We'll move on, though. The Nashville Predators and the Buffalo Sabres. Let's get into it. We have Nashville looking around -125, -130 favorites now with a total of 6.5. I moved on this game last night. I got the Preds -115. I would still play the Preds up to the -130 number, and then I'll be a little bit tentative after that. My projections for this game, Preds around -150 in this spot, and I actually have this game projected at a 7.13 for projected goals in this game, which does present to me an interesting option of I want to double down on this game, and I would like to double down on it with the team total over with the Nashville Predators in this game. I would like to back a Predators team that I believe will positively regress to play better, and we're finally getting a game where they're a decent number to do so. +112 for the team total over 3.5 as well. That is an add for me here. So doubling up on the Nashville Predators, I think they are the best bet on the board today. When you look at both NBA and NHL, I think the Nashville Predators are. I think they take care of business in this game. We have a Nashville team coming in off of I believe a couple losses now, where at least they lost their last game. No, they're back-to-back losses, 3-1 against Vancouver and 5-2 against the Ducks. Previous to that, they had won 5 in a row. On the flip side, we have the Buffalo Sabres snapping a 2-game losing streak against Calgary and Edmonton with a dominant win against a team they've never beat very much in the Boston Bruins. And now they get a Western Conference game, and then they get the Devils afterwards. I think this is a potential bad situational spot here for the Nashville or for the Buffalo Sabres in this game, and I think this line's moved up for a reason. I think the Nashville Predators are the best bet on the board. If I didn't play the -115 last night, I'd play the -1 right now. I see this as a 5-2 type of win here for Nashville. Let's just take a look. It's -130 on ESPN Bet with the +185 puck line. If you don't mind the 135 price tag, that's cool. The -1's +124. I don't hate that either. I got the money line last night at -115. I'm also taking the team total over 3.5 at -112. So that's where I'm going in this one here. Nashville team total over 3.5. It is +112. Sabres money line. Boo. All right. Make sure you put up NHL on the site so I can post a card. Thanks. Boo. Hey, it happens. Let's move on. And the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Dallas Stars. We have the Stars -170 favorites with a total of 5.5 in this game. Taking a look at the projections, this one I have this game projected for the Stars around a -150 price tag and around 5.8 goals. We have a Canucks team. I believe they're coming in off of a win in their last game. They beat the Nashville Predators 3-1. They've now won 3 games in a row against Washington, St. Louis, and Nashville. On the flip side, we have the Dallas Stars, who have won 3 games in a row against Vegas, St. Louis, Vegas. So 2 wins against Vegas. That's impressive in 3 games. And I was on the Vegas Golden Knights in both of those games, so that was not very much fun there. We have Dallas currently 3rd in the Central. They're 32-17-1, 15-29-6 over under. They're 18-7-1 at American Airlines Arena there in Dallas, Texas. On the flip side, we have the Vancouver Canucks. They're 23-17-10. 25-24-1 over under, 14-7-4 on the road this year. So they're a better road team than they have been home team. At this number, it's Canucks or nothing. And it's a slight lean towards the over. Don't have really much incentive to go after either, though. So it's just leans at this point towards the Canucks and the over. But is this a game I'm getting involved with? It's a simple no for me. I think there's better games out there. So yeah, for me, it's a pass for this game. It's a pass for this game for me. Predators versus All right. No chat. All right. Oh, I forgot to put a line in this game. I'm putting my foot down. I'm going to start the hopeful willing into existence for this one here. We have Columbus taking on Utah. Yesterday, Utah, or 2 days, I believe 2 days ago, Utah announced their final 3 names for the potential new name of the team. Those being the Utah Hockey Club, the Utah Mammoth, and the Utah Waxdosh. They replaced the Waxdosh with the Outlaws, the Utah Outlaws. I'm going to will this into existence. So, and I did over under twice instead of at. We had the Columbus Blue Jackets at the Utah Outlaws. I'm willing this one into existence. I saw what the potential jerseys can look like. I want a Utah Outlaws jersey. So let's get into it here. Utah and Columbus minus 215 for Utah, total of 6.5. Now, do I believe that Utah should be favorites in this game? Yeah, my numbers have them around a minus 150, minus 155 in this game. I do think the 215 number is a little much. However, I don't think situationally this is a good spot for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We have the Blue Jackets coming in back-to-back overtime wins. The first one was on January 25th, so they had a decent break before they played Vegas, and this is the second half of a back-to-back with an overtime win the previous night. And then they'll head to Dallas and then Buffalo before they head back home on February 8th to take on the Rangers. On the flip side, Utah is coming in off of their third straight loss, a 3-2 overtime loss against the Pittsburgh Penguins. They lost their previous game against the Ottawa Senators 3-1, and then 5-2 against the Winnipeg Jets. I see Utah. This is a good situational spot for them. They're playing a team that I believe they can beat on a second half of back-to-back and an overtime game and travel from Vegas to Utah. But do I want to lay this type of number on Utah? No, I'm not going to lay this type of number on Utah at all. So this ends up being a pretty simple pass for me in this game. And I have a feeling today's card is going to probably just be centric around Nashville. Maybe I add St. Louis to the card as well. The more I look at that game, I probably will. But yeah, no action for me here with this one here. Utah Yeti, their patents or their copyrights, whatever, did not go through for the Yeti. So Yeti is not a finalist to be the Utah name. I think the Outlaws are the best one. Yes. All right. Okay. I have time because we've been live for 30 minutes, 33 minutes. I have time. I have to show off. What the Utah Outlaws jerseys would look like. So give me 2 seconds. I have to. Because nope. Yes. Here we go. Let's get this up. So just so you guys can see what a Utah Outlaws jersey would look like. Because this is kind of nice. Utah Outlaws. I would pick up one of these. That's kind of nice. I like the black with it too. Kind of nice. But yeah. Columbus team total over. Utah goalie gave up 4, 5, and 3 in the last. Yeah, I still think it's not the greatest of spots though for Columbus with them playing an overtime game. I understand why they're priced the way they are. Canucks plus 153. Yeah. And Blue Jackets plus 189. At that number, I won't talk you off of it. The mascot should be a skeleton. All right, that would be interesting. They're pricing CBJ like they're playing Vegas again. They're not playing Vegas again. However, situationally, it's not as good of a spot. They're playing Vegas on a nice bit of a nice bit of rest. So badass, right? I want a Utah Outlaws jersey now. If that becomes the team name, but we'll move on. Final game of the card: the St. Louis Blues taking on the Taking on the Colorado Avalanche, we have the Avalanche minus 175 favorites with a total of 6 in this game. My projections have the Avalanche as a favorite around minus 125 or minus 130, though. This will be the first home game without Mikko Rantanen for them, and it will be the first home game for Jack Drury. It will be the first home game for Martin Necas. They're coming in off of a 5-2 loss as well to the New York Islanders, the last game of their road trip. On the flip side, the St. Louis Blues, this is their fourth game of a 4-game homestand. You don't want to get swept. Or no, this is their first game on the road after a 3-game losing streak. My bad. They lost all 3 on their homestand to Vegas, Dallas, and Vancouver. So not the easiest of games during their homestand there. And now they hit the road. I think hitting the road would be good for the St. Louis Blues here. And I see value on them here at plus 155 in this game. I think they're the dog of the day. The St. Louis Blues, and you can get plus 155 over on ESPN Bet. Bet365 is giving me the same price, plus 155. Whenever Bet365 gives me the same price, I generally tend that direction because they have the 3-goal rule, where if you go up 3 goals, it's an auto win. So I do like that as well. So I'm going to move on the St. Louis Blues to close out the card, plus 155. I think this is a good spot for the Blues to hit the road, kind of get away from where they just lost 3 games in a row. And usually road trips, I think, can benefit struggling teams. And I think this is a good example here. I think the Avalanche are way too big of a favorite in this game here. So give me the Blues a plus 155 to close out to close out the card. That was beautiful, right? Nature's plus 180 goal. Yeah. Blues money line, Avs puck line, Lehkonen goal, Holloway goal, Lehkonen goal. All right. But that is everything for today's card. If you guys have not already, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications so you guys are notified each and every time we are live here at ESB, which is every single morning, anywhere between 10 and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Earle Sports Bet Show. That's going to just about wrap it up for this one. I want to thank you guys, as always, for watching, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow for another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, everyone.